Welcome to The Coffee Grind with the Denton Chamber of Commerce, powered in part by Classic of Denton.
Good morning, Denton. My name is Travis Veselka. I'm the Director of Membership and Marketing for the Denton Chamber of Commerce. And with me, as always, is my trusty co-host.
Good morning, Denton. My name is Randy Skinner. I serve on the Chamber Board of Directors, and as a member, I represent Denton County Friends of the Family.
And you're watching the Chamber Coffee Grind. We're recording live from the DentonRadio.com studio inside of the Discover Denton Welcome Center on historic downtown Denton Square. And we're here to keep you up to date with what's happening in the business community, highlighting featured initiatives and events from the Denton Chamber of Commerce. And today we're going to be talking
a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, but like wrap-ups and all kinds of cool stuff that's coming up with Brad and Nick. So if you want to just kind of introduce yourselves for the audience.
Sure, I'll go first. Okay. My name's Nick. I'm actually the music director for the Denton Black Film Festival and also a musician who's been in the area off and on for about 30 years. And I own a band called Fingerprints, and so I'm glad to be here.
Well, thank you for
being here. Very talented musician, too. I've had the opportunity to hear Fingerprints a few times. So if you guys have never heard them, you need to go. And where's the best place for them to go to pull up some of the music?
They can go to fingerprintsband.com.
Boom. There you go. Okay, check it out. What about you, sir?
Well,
good morning.
Good morning. My name is Brad Lely. I'm the professor of jazz saxophone at the University of North Texas.
Gilman Green.
Extremely happy to be here with my good friend Frederick Nicholson. Yes.
That's awesome. Y'all have known each other for a long time, right? That's what I heard.
I met him my first day on this campus.
Okay.
When I was an undergrad.
Wow.
All right.
That's impressive.
Longtime friends. Well, we're so grateful for y'all being here this morning. Thank you for taking a little bit of time.
Thank you.
So
our pleasure.
So we kind of wanted to pick your brain about Denton Black Film Festival, and you were kind of helping out with the musical
helping out. I think you made it happen.
Yeah. So we're curious. Well, how did it all go?
With the team, I'm sure.
This year was tremendous. Again, this is our 5th year, and so we've grown a lot from about 500 or 600 people the first year.
Okay.
To we don't have official numbers, but probably over 6,000 or 7,000 this year.
That's incredible.
And then I think in 8 different venues throughout Denton. So we started out just at the campus theater in year 1 for like a half a day. And now we were in, I want to say 8 venues for 5 days, plus 2 art exhibits. So it really has grown to be
awesome.
Like it's like the Blob. It's everywhere.
But a good kind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We want to eat people, but make them more culturally aware. So, yeah.
So were there some highlights from the musical side of the Black Film Fest this year?
There were. Almost too many to fit in. But, of course, we had a tremendous finale concert with Kirk Whalum, who's a Grammy-winning saxophonist. I don't want to just say jazz saxophonist because he really transforms any room he's in into – it could be gospel, it could be jazz, it could be smooth jazz. But he's a great person, and we were lucky to be able to get him to come down and his band. He also performed with the UNT 1 O'Clock Lab Band, so that was
my gosh, that's amazing.
Big time. Just a great event that people had no idea what to expect, but when they got there, it was like unbelievable for me and a lot of people. So that's all I've heard since then. And then we also had a great after film jam with my band Fingerprints at Dan Silverleaf.
I love it.
So that was the first time we've actually used Dan's as a venue during the festival, and it worked out very nice. Had a lot of special guests from Dallas and outside. People sat in, so it was real good. And then, Friday we had a poetry and spoken word night, which when I first started with the festival, we didn't have that, but it's kind of come under the umbrella of the music component now. But and I've learned a lot about poetry and people in poetry slams where they compete for money and prizes. So that's been pretty, exciting and like draining in terms of the audience and even the people who were slammers, So a lot of things, and of course we screened over 60 films this year.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
How many do you know how many y'all screened the first year?
Like maybe 10 or 11.
Yeah,
and it was selection only. So now we do submissions, which it's like a national search for,
cool.
And it's international films. But the first year we basically just got it wasn't even me with selection, but a few people got together and says, hey, let's see if we can get these movies and show them.
Yes.
And so we just called people in the industry and just kind of screen whatever we could get. And people enjoyed it.
It's so neat.
Yeah, but so many people are not familiar with what a film festival is, just technically. They're used to being marketed to just go to a regular theater and see a feature film.
Right.
But with these things, you kind of get people who, they may travel here from New York with a 12-minute film that they spent all their money on.
Right.
So you think that's a lot of courage just to say, well, I'm going to go to
Really
Denton and hope I have an audience for my 12-minute movie about put any
Could be
particular
anything,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's the most amazing thing that the audience gets, is that they kind of have to, step inside of the filmmaker's, world to see, man, how'd you even think to, make a movie about, anything,
Yeah.
And they complete it with whatever budget they have. So that's what been very eye-opening for me, although I'm a musician, I never really even delved into what filmmakers have to deal with, so.
So what was your selection process like for picking the musical acts that you were going to feature?
Well, this year, we usually just kind of sit down as a committee and just kind of talk about what venues we want to use. And this year we were fortunate enough to collaborate with UNT for the first time on a big scale.
Oh, wow.
So we met with the College of Music, Dean Richmond and all those people, and kind of threw some names out. And Kirk Whalen's name kind of stuck, as somebody that was accessible to us, because he actually is from my hometown of Memphis. So I sort of knew him from that, and I could coax him a little bit.
Yeah.
And then so after we got UNT involved, we kind of had a marquee event set in place at the Murchison. We didn't even think we'd be able to, use the Murchison, but that kind of worked out with that. And then sort of everything kind of trickled down from there.
That's awesome.
Everybody in the festival always kind of asked me to have my band play, although, you kind of feel weird when you.
When you're the one putting it together, you're like, let me feature myself too.
Yeah, so this is the first time we've really played here as an act, as a featured act, and I tried to make it even. Less of us and have more special guests than just, hey, boom, 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 this is my band and my festival and all that. So
yeah.
But it worked out great, And I'll tell you the other thing is that I was very tired from organizing, that having a gig was like almost the last thing I wanted to do. By Saturday night, I wanted to go to sleep before the gig started. So, but,
because I powered through, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, we all most of the volunteers had like 15-hour days starting about last Tuesday or Wednesday. So I played So I played at 9 on Saturday night, and so by 1 o'clock on Saturday, Sunday morning, I was like, man, this festival's got to end soon.
Need some sleep, yeah. And there's a key word there is volunteers, because there's a large group of people that are coming out and donating their time for this event that's hosting 6,000 people. That's pretty impressive. How many volunteers do you think that it took to make this thing happen?
Well, we have about 10 to 15 core leader
committee,
people, and then there's probably about 70 to 100
wow.
Students in different groups locally that'll come in and work kind of like 3 and 4 and 5 hour shifts.
Okay.
Bits and pieces of it.
So yeah, it really is like a big matrix to put together all those people, and we couldn't do it really without the volunteers, because everything we do rolls back into the Denton African American Scholarship Foundation. So none of the volunteers get paid. Some of the some of the people that we have to use for technical assistance and that they're just do that.
Right.
But in general, nobody is handing in invoices for their services.
Sure,
indeed.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's really exciting. Yeah. So y'all were
maybe
able
next year we'll have those.
Oh. So y'all were able to raise some money for the scholarships then?
I'm sure we raised quite a bit this year.
I know it's still early, probably
right.
to know.
Yeah,
so
we haven't done the numbers, and our festival director Harry Eady actually had to work out of town in Houston. I think even on Monday as soon as the festival. So we haven't even had a real official recap.
It's fresh still.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Indeed.
Well, if somebody wanted to learn more about the Denton Black Film Fest for next year, how to get involved, what would be the best route for them to take?
Oh, absolutely. Visit our website at dentonbff.com. And we have all the regular social media platforms. And we're always looking for volunteers, because, as a matter of fact, we're going to be having some monthly screenings here locally at the Alamo Draft House, probably starting in March. So
all year round.
So we'll keep ourselves kind of in the public eye. We're still working out the themes for the kinds of movies, but there'll be, things that people want to come out and enjoy of different, genres. But we're hoping to get that kicked off by March, and just kind of, almost every month.
That's exciting.
Have a film. So, but DentonBFF.com is where everything is. We've got a great marketing director. Her name is Monique Bird. She's really transformed everything that we've done visually and with social media into something that makes us look like we're Sundance, or we're
Indeed.
a really big, we are a big time
You are
festival.
big, yeah.
Y'all are, yeah.
But she's really given us that look and that appearance, to do that.
I love
it. It is it's a very good look. Like it catches your attention, and there's some, you can tell you've had some hard workers making it happen.
Very good branding.
Very good branding.
Yes. I love that Denton gets to host film festivals.
I know.
It is like a Sundance. It's like I don't know the other ones, but you have to help me out with that. I don't go to them. That's why.
Telluride. Does like Telluride?
Telluride, yeah.
And then I'm sure there's something in France.
But it's
or something.
legit. It's like a legit.
Cannes.
Yeah.
Cannes, that one.
There you
Yes. So, soon it'll be Denton up there as well.
Yeah. That'd be really cool. Top Film Fest. Well, I mean, obviously it's already something that people are planning and wanting to come to. If we have 60 submissions that are being screened and people coming in from New York and all over. Really just making a name for Denton and for the Black Film Fest. That's really cool. And it's really good timing too. So February is Black History Month coming up. So it's kind of like diving into February as we approach. So I know there's some other events that are happening in the month of February. I know, Brad, you came to kind of tell us about one of those, right?
Well, I host a celebration entitled Gospel Meets Jazz, where we're kind of combining the two musical genres.
Okay.
So we do the date for this year is February 17th.
Okay.
It's going to be at Vortman Hall in the School of Music from 6:30 to 8. We are going to feature the Prairie View A&M College Gospel Choir.
Oh, wow.
Right. They're fantastic under the direction of Dr. Jan Taylor. We also are going to feature the Moore Street Praise Choir. I usually have them. They've been there a couple of times, and they're wonderful under the direction of Bobby Hicks.
Okay.
We're going to have them as well. Their children, they have a little children's choir. We're going to feature them as well.
Oh, my gosh. That sounds awesome.
Yes, we are. And just some of the stellar musicians and faculty members that we have.
And this is all in one evening?
All in one evening.
Oh, my gosh. I love this.
Yes.
And this isn't the first year you've done it? Or
oh, no.
How long have you been doing this event?
Well, I started in 2005.
Okay, wow.
But I started that in Lubbock, Texas,
okay.
at Texas Tech University. But I've been doing it here at University of North Texas ever since I got here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what, if somebody were wanting to attend this event on, you said the 17th?
The 17th.
How would they go about learning more?
All you have to do is come to Vortman Hall.
Okay.
That's all you have to do. Just show up.
Oh, I love it.
That's right. It's free.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's free.
All right.
It's free.
But I will say this. That place only holds 350, so he really gets a big crowd. So
you need to show up early.
Pretty soon he's going to have to start doing some RSVPs, I think.
Really?
Because people really enjoy it. I've actually experienced about 4 or 5 of them, and he's always brought in, impressive people from across the country. And for a free concert, that's almost unheard of.
Yeah. So on UNT campus, the 17th, and did you say 6 o'clock?
6:30 to 8.
But you should probably get there at 6.
I would get there as early as possible. Yeah.
So 6:30 to 8, and then is it a family friendly event? Like
Absolutely.
Bring your kids?
I certainly recommend that you bring your children.
Okay.
Yeah. Bring your children, please, because we want them to be a part of this.
Yes.
This is more of we just want to show people love. That's what we're about. Acceptance, inclusion, and that's what we want to share with everyone that comes. We want people to come in there and feel good and leave feeling better.
Yes.
So, yes, bring your children, bring your friends' children,
bring
your enemies' children, whatever. Yes, absolutely.
Everybody.
Everyone.
So that's on the 17th. So what else do we have happening around town that we need to tell people about?
I know there's a big event coming up at the Campus Theater this Friday that one of our volunteers, Cassandra Berry, is co-hosting at the Campus Theater.
If we didn't talk about that, Cassandra might be calling all of us
right.
when we leave here and be like, what happened?
So
I specifically said.
Yeah. So that's Friday, and it's Evening of Awareness.
There you go. I think it's at 7 o'clock over there. So and I think there's a pastor there, Hornbuckle, who's from Dallas, is going to be part of that.
Yes,
featured,
and last year Fingerprints played.
Oh yeah.
But this year we have a different performance, and
Brad
it's
Lely
you
is playing,
right, Brad?
The Brad Lely Quartet.
That's what I thought. I was like, am I on track here?
Yes.
My
so
goodness.
What kind of music can we expect
We're
on
playing
Friday?
straight ahead jazz. Boom,
Okay.
boom, boom.
Just
Yes.
Yes.
Classic. So y'all are going to kick us off with some good jazz.
That's right.
And then there'll be some refreshments for those. And then, so Evening of Awareness, Cassandra Berry, as Nick was saying, helps plan this event, and it's in collaboration with Friends of the Family. And for us, it's a kickoff for Black History Month, and Cassandra oversees our Community Matters program, which is specifically geared towards raising awareness in the African-American community, because we know that African-American women are 35% more likely to experience domestic violence and less likely to seek resources like those at Friends of the Family. So this is an opportunity just to raise awareness. And then Dr. Hornbuckle, pastor, she's coming to talk about her story because unfortunately she's someone who has experienced domestic violence, and has a pretty powerful message. And so it's going to be a celebration, but it's also going to be awareness. I'm excited. Campus Theater is such a good venue. Oh, yeah. I hear the music's really good, so we should have a good turnout. If you guys want to come to that, again, you can just show up on Friday or check out the Friends of the Family website or the Chamber website for tickets for that as well. That's awesome. But is there anything else Cassandra needed to make sure we said, Nick? Did we say?
I can't think specifically. Other than I do want to give her a special shout out because she actually, again, she hosted our Kirk Whalum concert. She emceed it because someone who was supposed to do it originally from a television station couldn't make it, and she stepped in. I won't say pretty much the last week and did a tremendous job.
Oh wow!
Just really made the event nice and warm, and of course she's a singer also.
Yes.
So it meant a lot to her to kind of be involved and help coordinate that event.
And she belongs to my church.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Moore Street.
Okay.
Look at
Street. Yes.
Everything's connected.
It all is connected. Yes. Cassandra's extremely talented, and to be able to do something last minute, that's a skill. And we've seen that skill at work over at Friends of the Family lots of times because she's had to come in and help us with things.
And she's got a unique, kind of connection to UNT, to the city, to the community, everything all at once. So it's kind of she wears so many hats, or she knows so much about different things in Denton. So she's a resource that I would never want to lose in this community.
Yes, a very big asset. Yeah. So shout out Cassandra.
Yeah, she was a guest.
We got your fan club right here.
That's right. Yes.
Well, what else? Is there anything else we need to highlight about the gospel event coming up or Black Film Fest or anything happening?
Just come out and enjoy
and
take advantage of the resources that are available in this community, this wonderful community.
Definitely.
It's a great sentiment.
And if I might just add for the last plug, so we do have the Black Film Fest has 2 art exhibits that'll be running. I'm not sure the end date. But one is Taylor Barnes at UNT on the Square. And these are all free, of course. And that's going on. I think they're open from 10 to 5 Monday through Friday, and I'm not sure about Saturday. But that's a great exhibit. But we have a world-renowned quilt artist that lives in Denton that's been here many years, Barbara McCraw. And her work is on display at the Patterson Appleton.
Perfect.
I think through about mid-February. But I know many people probably have never checked out quilts, as I had not until a few weeks ago. But her work, the depth of her work is far beyond. It shouldn't even be called a quilt. She has over 25 pieces there.
Paintings.
Yeah,
almost.
exactly.
Yep.
So that is something that if you haven't gone over, please go and check it out and sign the register. Let people know that you want to see things like that come back to Denton or be around here. Because I tell you, from what I understand, it's already been the most visited exhibition maybe in history or of PAC, I think.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Don't quote me, but that's what someone told me, was that it's already up until this point been the most visited because Denton has a big quilt community.
Yes.
Just found that out too.
And how would you know?
So anyway, shout out to Barbara McCraw. And actually one of her quilts, the reason we ended up connecting with her, one of her quilts was used in a raffle for the festival, and we raised over $3,000 just on the one quilt that we actually gave the winner was announced at the Kirk Whalum concert. So that was, so that's kind of another tie-in.
Yeah.
And so just one little extra, like these are not necessarily quilts that are just somebody put a pattern on. Like these are imagery. This is like I said, it's like paintings. Like you can see there's a whole story to be told on this quilt. So
exactly.
And that's also free at the PAC. So you can just walk in there, maybe go grab some dinner, and you could walk to the PAC, walk to UNT on the Square, make a whole evening of it before you go over for the gospel show on the 17th. Do it all in one night.
I like the way you think.
We just planned you a night out. You are welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's awesome. So those art exhibits will be running at least a couple more weeks probably, but you should probably get over there. And like Nick said, make sure that you tell the PAC and tell UNT on the Square that we want more exhibits like this, and you tell them that by showing up. So that's all you got to do. That's what you're challenged with.
Oh, and we got to thank Annette Lawrence, our art director from the festival, for helping curate these 2 shows. She is a great person on the UNT faculty.
Annette is fantastic.
That is, she's always been a supporter of the festival, and she attends like lots of events. She's always every time she sees me at the festival, she's like, "Hey, what should I go see now?" And I'm like, "I don't know," but she's like everywhere. Every time I turn around, she's at a different venue. So she's been a big supporter.
She's fantastic.
That's great.
Well, and shout out to everyone that was on y'all's Black Film Fest committee, because I mean, mean, there had to be a lot of people to make this happen, and so
it's a labor of love
very
to
talented
pull this together.
folks. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what y'all do next year. You got you got to figure out how to amp it up every year, right?
Oh,
are
yeah.
you're planning already?
We're already planning. After hibernation, we'll come back out with a new plan.
You get to sleep for like another day or two, and then it's time for 2020 for sure.
That's right.
Yes.
All righty. Well, don't go anywhere, but thank you very much for everything you've shared with us.
Yeah,
We're going to
thank
run
y'all.
through some upcoming events with the
right, what do we
business
got?
community and things like that. So we have several ribbon cuttings that are coming up and a couple of different just kind of community events, but we'll start with this. So January 31st at 9 a.m. at Ryan High School, that's off McKinney, Communities and Schools is opening up their new kind of campus location, and so we're going to celebrate with them with a ribbon cutting and just kind of bring the community out there and just kind of let them know what they do and how they help out schools here in Denton. And all
their
that good
focus,
stuff.
CIS Community Schools focus is dropout prevention. So mentoring, dropout prevention, they have a really cool program that's called Lunch with a Leader. And it's designed for folks that maybe are a little bit busier, but want to still mentor children, and they do it monthly.
Yeah.
And then they have some structures that are weekly and kind of more often. So shout out to CIS. Really excited to have them at Ryan. That's pretty phenomenal. Then we have another ribbon cutting, which as a chamber member, this is a perk that you have whether you're a new member or celebrating a milestone. So February 14th, a Valentine's ribbon.
Yeah.
You can come as a date. So at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. on February 14th, you and your significant other can come for a ribbon cutting at Republic Finance. They are opening up a new office. It's right off University. And if you have questions, you can go to the chamber website. You can reach out to Marcia over there at Republic Finance.
And then we have our monthly business networking lunch. We have this every month, so this will be February's. It's going to be on the 15th, so the very next day. They start at 11:45. They go to about 1. We're about halfway full.
Okay.
We have a limit on there.
Who's
It's
the
about 50
speaker?
people. It's his name is Matt Schaefer.
Okay.
I actually have it right here. His name is Matt Schaefer. He's with Habitude Warrior International. So they're like an international conference, and they talk about all these like leadership skills and how to train for sales positions and not positions.
It says
but
he's a
sales
habit
things.
performance strategist.
Oh yes. And
I don't
so-
know what that is, but it sounds real good.
So yeah,
Like, habits that you're gonna do. Teach me how to get some good habits in my life.
Yeah, so
what I'm
he's got-
thinking it is.
He's got like 5 like habits that he's going
Okay.
to talk about, and it's very similar to like the successful habits of. I can't talk. It's the habits of like highly successful people,
I know what
that
you're
type
talking
of thing.
about. Yeah.
So he narrowed it down to like about 5, and he's gonna talk about those.
That's cool. That's a good one.
And it'll be about 45 minutes worth
Okay.
of good info. And so yes, like I said, we're about halfway full. So if you want, it's you have to register in advance, and that'll be on Friday, and you can register through the chamber's website and the event calendar.
Then we have Denton County Days coming up February 19th through the 20th. Shout out to our sponsors, Atmos, Hilltop, Pacheco, Coach, Roanoke, and Denton County.
Oh, there's a lot more.
Among
I haven't
others, but
updated
these are
that,
some
sorry.
of our top sponsors.
Yep.
So what Denton County Days, it's folks from all over Denton County go to Austin, to the Capitol, and they're going to be advocating and talking about different initiatives related to our community needs, whether it's something related to nonprofit or growth or different city initiatives. So it's pretty cool. If you want to find out more about that, you can reach out to the team. Monica Glenn is heading that up. Info is on denton-chamber.org. Under the events tab, you'll see Denton County Days. You can, is it still open that you can go? So you could still attend, and you do not have to be a chamber member to attend. So it's open to anyone. And you can also still sponsor. So if you want to support some of the legislative kind of work that's happening from at a community level, and advocacy work that's happening, you can learn more about that. So Denton County Days. I got to go 2 years ago. I wanted to go this year, but I was like, a week before my due date, so it's too risky. My husband probably wouldn't like it if I went into labor without him.
Especially if it was like 4 hours away.
I know. But I mean, like, if you're a courthouse baby, would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
She'd be like
That would.
starting off her legislative journey early.
Absolutely. And if you're not familiar with kind of the way that the legislature functions, they only meet every 2 years.
Yeah, every
it's a
2 years.
biennial, kind of thing. And so this year, about every week, or several days out of every week, different communities come in, and different like universities do this, different communities do this.
Yep.
And so this is the time that we are going to be down there to get our message across and let people know. Alrighty, and then we've got another ribbon cutting coming up from Massage Envy. They're
delightful.
Right off University as well, and that'll be
They're
Friday,
close.
February
There's a new
22nd.
one over by Razor Branch, right? Yeah.
So at noon, we're going to be cutting the ribbon with them. I don't know if they're going to be offering like little free test massages or anything like that, but
one can only hope.
Go and find out.
Okay, then we have last Money and Mimosas. This is hosted by Soulier Financial Group, which is a chamber member.
Oh, I have some extra details.
They are going to be hosting this from 5 to 7. Ryan Soulier is a financial planner with Mass Mutual and Soulier Financial Group, and he sponsored the Women in Commerce event last year. Had a really great, if y'all remember last year, if you came, he had like a really great booth set up, and I think he was handing out mimosas there. So I feel like he's found like some sort of like combination. But it should be a pretty good event.
Yeah, this is going to be at, I believe, Hawthorne Hills, which is a beautiful event venue just right outside of town, and he will have women finance folk. Like they have different jobs, finance advisors, things like that.
Women who are specializing in the financial industry?
Yes. Okay. And so from their perspective, they're going to be able to talk to the women in the audience about these sort of unique instances where, I mean, because women have different things going on in their life. They'll outlive their husbands. They have, children, sometimes often single moms, that kind of stuff. So there's unique situations, and we want to be able to speak to some of those.
Cool.
This is a really
shout
cool
out
event.
to Ryan. Thanks for putting that on.
And we'll have more information on the website about that. All right. Well, that takes us all the way through February. And before we wrap up, we always like to ask our prepared fun question.
Yes. Prepared fun question.
So we prepped you in advance. Either you can answer either what was your first job or what is your favorite way of denting.
I'll let you go first.
You go first.
I gotta think.
Oh,
so.
you always
he's got to
go
think.
first.
Okay.
Yeah, my favorite thing in denting actually is just taking my wife is from New York. And when we first moved here, we always went to Dallas for stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
But I always told her, because I went to school here, there was lots of stuff to do in Denton, but sometimes I even forget there's so much stuff to do. So we just go to some random place, like, just basically from what we might see online or in the paper.
Yeah.
So we like going to a restaurant or a gallery or something and just kind of surprising people, and they think we're from out of town, but we've been living here like 20-something years. So, I really just like kind of going to an out-of-the-way place in Denton. So
discover
somewhere that you
something new.
don't go every day.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because a lot of people just don't realize, how much stuff is in Denton.
Oh, yes.
It's a weird place to be, like, close to Dallas, but you can kind of be, self-contained away from Dallas if you want to be. Yeah. But anyway, that's kind of my thing, I guess.
I like that. That's a good one. There's always something
Yeah.
going on, and if there's not, you're not looking hard enough.
Because I talked to many people who have never been in the courthouse before, and it's amazing.
It's bizarre.
But I never went until my kids were in school, and they went on a field trip, and I lived here since the 80s,
really?
off and on.
And there's a whole museum in there. Yeah.
It's a museum, exactly. Yeah. So, but anyway.
That's a great example. There's some things that you can just overlook, especially you pass by it every single day and don't know there's like a hidden
nothing
gem.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have really good art exhibits in there sometimes and historical things too.
They have a little kids craft section too.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's cute.
And my daughter left her lunch at home, and I brought it up here. I said, I brought her lunch. She was like in the 6th grade or something. And I said, man, I guess I'll go and take a look, and so I'll know what's actually in the courthouse myself.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my denting.
I like
it.
That's a good
perfect.
tip. What about you, Brad?
Mine is not that hip.
Okay.
May I say that?
That's okay.
First of all,
you.
I really don't. I'm a homebody.
Okay.
Because I'm out all the time. So I like to stay home and cook.
Okay.
That's good too.
So I'm going to go with my first job.
Okay.
My first job was at Taco Bell.
All right.
What
were you doing?
Where was this?
My first real job was at...
And you like cooking, so it actually works out. It's the same
full
answer.
circle. I love
What
it.
was your job? Was your job cooking?
My job, I did
cook?
everything. I was cooking. I was at the register. I was at the drive-thru.
Okay.
I remember going home every night. I smelled like the meat.
Yes.
And
you
that
smelled real
was
bad.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
I can relate. My first job was at my first real job was at McDonald's.
Right on.
And so I smelled real bad,
Right.
but they paid me more than the other places were going to pay me.
I don't think McDonald's smells real bad. I love the
50
fries
cents.
at McDonald's.
Right?
I'll work here if you'll pay me 50 cents more
Right,
an hour.
I know, that's right.
I'll smell bad every day for an extra 50 cents.
Oh my goodness.
Right, that's right.
We're sorry, McDonald's.
All right. This is
Taco
no
Bell.
disrespect to any of those
No,
brands.
no, I don't think. I think they're fine.
They
They're
know
gonna
what
be
they
fine.
did.
All right.
They have the best fries still. I'm
So
sorry.
can you
I
still
agree.
eat Taco Bell?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it didn't ruin it for you.
Absolutely. No, I love it. I love it. But I like to make my own.
Yes. Okay.
That's good.
Cooking
I
at home.
love
Do you
to
have
make
a
my own.
signature dish that's kind of yours at home?
That's a good question.
My catfish. Would you say my
Okay.
he's come over from
Yep.
New Year's?
Yep.
I always have catfish.
Okay.
How do
Black
you do
eyed peas, rice.
You have all the
Yeah.
traditional things you need.
Oh
You gotta
yeah,
eat black eyed peas on New Year's.
greens,
Oh, I love it.
cornbread,
So we'll see you in 2020.
rice.
Okay.
You sure will.
Or before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's invite
You're
him.
always
Potluck.
invited. You're
Potluck.
always
That
invited.
sounds good.
'Cause he-
Always.
Yeah, he had a taco bar when I went to his house a
That's
couple months
right.
ago. It was
Oh,
great.
man.
We're gonna have a
Everybody
Super
loved it.
Bowl party. I think we're going to do ribs. You're not invited, so
Okay.
Oh.
you don't need to worry about that.
All right, I'm gonna crash that party. So.
Brad, I have
Right.
one follow-up question for you. So we talked. You have a website, fingerprintsband.com. Brad, do you have a
BradLeely.com. Thank you for asking.
And Leely is spelled.
Leali.
Indeed.
Thank you
Wonderful.
for asking.
Absolutely. I
I
like to
thought-
take care of musicians in
Thank
this
you.
town.
There you go.
Yes, and thank both of you for coming on and just
Yes, thank you.
sharing about what's going on, kind of what happened with Film Fest, and
Mm-hmm.
it's been a pleasure to get to chat with you guys
Wow.
and learn a little bit about your dentoning and
Thank
your
you.
chef
Right.
life.
The hidden skills.
Yes, your hidden skills.
Thank you for what you all do.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
you. It
you
was
so
great.
much.
Yeah.
Well, you're
Thank you
welcome.
for what you do.
All righty. Well, I'd also like to thank DentonRadio.com
Yes,
for
thank you,
their support in the
Jake.
production of today's
out,
Coffee
Jake.
Grind.
Shout out, Jake.
And for more information about the Denton Chamber of Commerce, you can check us out at denton-chamber.org. That's Denton with a hyphen chamber.org. And you can follow and friend us on social media. And remember to tune in every Wednesday starting around 10 a.m.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.